Okay, so today we're going to be bringing this late 2006 iMac back to life with an SSD upgrade and RAM. So,
Project White Supremacy is the name of the iMac. I just want to clear that up so we don't get any hate.
okay, so we're just going to start unscrewing all the stuff from the bottom with a T8 torque screwdriver. We're going to cut to after we're done with this. After you've taken out your case screws, you need to take out the RAM door. It's just a Phillips screwdriver. After you've got your RAM door off, you need to just take any card/credit card you don't care about. This is very hard to watch and do, but it's actually how you do it. Just do it until you feel the clip just doing the thing. And then, there you go. You might need to add duct tape, but whatever. Okay, so you need to take off the thing now. That's Ukiah. You gotta hold in the RAM tabs, then just pull the case back out and over, like so. Another very cringy thing to do, but usually you'd have to watch for the connectors on this camera, but we already have that unplugged, so. Alright, so normally you would actually have to take this connector out by these two T6 torque screws here, but because the previous owner before me had some stuff upgraded to it, with Geek Squad, that screw is stripped, so we have to take out the LCD in a more interesting way that you guys will find entertaining. Alright, so you have to, before you take the LCD out, once you have all your screws out, make sure you take this tape on both sides off. There we go. Alright, so, you guys are gonna love how we have to take this LCD out. Here, first let me get grip on it here. Grab it from right there. Careful how you lift this. You guys can't see this here, but make sure you take out this one cable, like right to the left of the RAM slot. Make sure you take that connector out. And then, oh boy, here. You're gonna want to hold it like this.
I got it.
Okay. There we go. So, after you have that out, you're going to want to pause the recording for a second to do something.
So what happened was the pin on the display connector fell out, and we just put it back in, and it was fine. So see you in the next clip.
Alright guys, so once you have access to the hard drive, you want to take out the power and the SATA. Ow. Take out these two cables. Okay, once you guys have taken off this stuff, obviously, just pull back on this clip as hard as you can, and the hard drive should just come right out. Don't forget to take off your thermal sensor. Ukiah has learned that. Once you have your old drive out, you want to take the thermal sensor off, or else if you don't put it on the SSD, then the hard drive fan is just going to spin constantly. And once we have this off, we will resume the video. Alright, so once you have your thermal sensor off your old drive, just stick it on the new one. Anywhere, it doesn't really matter. That's it for now.
Off the clip and the pins, you'll need a T8 screw, and we'll be back after we do that. Okay guys, you'll need to take the screws that your hard drive cage comes with and put them into the little holes with the little screwdriver. It's kind of difficult if you don't have a magnetic screwdriver.
Which these are not.
So we'll be back. Okay, you'll need to take the clip, and there's a bunch of little holes. There's two on each side, and you'll line it up, and you'll put the screws in that came on the other hard drive. So you got to screw on the pins. I got one in, got to screw on the other one. It's really easy to tighten. Push it in toward the back of the computer, or the bottom, and then you'll hear a clip. Maybe. There it goes. And you have to make sure you... So guys, we were trying to take the SSD out because we put it in upside down, and we broke the clip, but you don't really need the clip.
Yeah, the clip isn't necessary anyway, just throw it over there.
Throw it over there, and just put it in, or actually you have to put the cables in first because it'll be easier that way. So there's little notches on the cables, and you have to line it up with the ones on the SSD. And just put those in. It's kind of difficult because they're not the longest cables in the world. And then you just put it in, Don't pull on it too much because there's the cables there. And since we broke the clip, we don't need it anymore.
Obviously.
But try not to break your clip.
Alright, so once you have the LCD back partially in, you want to get this black cable right here that you see right in front of the Bluetooth sensor. You just plug that back in. You don't want to rip that, that's bad. And also, you want to get the data cable, plugged back into the actual LCD. Just like that.
Gently lower it back down. Don't drop it, as you saw in my video, if you watched it. And scoot it down, because it'll be kind of at a weird angle when you first set it in. And drop it in. Make sure all the sides are tucked in.
It's a cringy noise, but it always does that.
It's just rubbing up against the plastic case. And now you insert all the screws. Make sure you know where those are. So we put in all the screws over here, and now we got to put the casing back on. That goes over all this stuff. And we'll be back then. You got to put the camera module in, and it's kind of awkward to record.
Well, it's kind of awkward to do with one hand. Here we go.
Got to plug in both the connectors. Now that you got it in, there's metal tabs up here that have to go in first.
You gotta watch the camera wires.
Yep, so you don't pinch them. And metal tabs go in, and then gotta make sure the RAM slots are all closed up down here. So we'll actually slide into the bottom of the computer.
And there you go.
And that's a complete Mac. We also have to put a RAM stick in there so we can have 4 gigs of RAM and screws. I'd put in all 4 of the screws along the bottom.
We have the computer upside down right now. All the screws are in. Now we're going to do the RAM. Just simply pull up the tabs. All right, so you want to line up where this little slot is with the pin right there. We already have a 2 gig stick of Kingston in there. This is a 2 gig stick of Toshiba. It's always a very cringy noise to do, but just push them in and you're good. Alright, so now we're just about to put the RAM door back on and then we'll be done. Alright guys, so it's been a few days since we filmed the last couple clips. We had to wait for the operating system to come in the mail. It finally came. It's a basically fresh copy of macOS Lion. We can see about this Mac. There we go. There's the 4 gigs of RAM. You go to more info, storage. There's the 240 gig solid state SATA. So as you can see, it went successfully and the computer is actually much faster than it was before. Thank you for watching our first kind of real life video and subscribe.